My name is Bonnie Ferris, and today I will be presenting mental health and human resource management. Mental health is a current hot topic. The World Health Organization defines mental health as a state of well-being in which the individual realizes his or her own abilities, can cope with the normal stresses of life, can work productively and fruitfully, and is able to make a contribution to his or her community. Mental health includes our emotional, psychological, and social well-being, according to Medline Plus. So why the attention in mental health suddenly? There's been a rise in suicide. 46 million suicides in the U.S. alone happened in 2020. An additional 12.2 million adults seriously contemplated suicide. 3.2 million planned a suicide attempt, and 1.2 million made an attempt, according to the Centers for Disease Control. This has led to increased awareness. As more tragedies have occurred, more folks have begun to speak about suicide and speaking out about mental health, which has shifted our society's view of mental health. In the workforce, the COVID-19 pandemic has affected workload. Employees spend the majority of their time working or at their workplace. This can make or break their mental health. The pandemic changed the way businesses operate, and in turn, the way employees handle their workload. According to Jennifer Moss of Harvard Business Review, the majority of the workforce became exhausted, efficiency decreased, and cynicism grew. 6 billion more emails were sent, and the average work hours increased by 28%. A large part of managing human resources is maintaining the well-being of employees, which will greatly increase retention and efficiency. Perhaps the most obvious skill in HR is the ability to spot crisis. Maintaining healthy relationships with each employee is extremely important in today's environment. A few indicators that an employee is in crisis may be neglect of work or appearance, giving away possessions, inquiring about life insurance, major changes to mood or motivation, talk of death or hopelessness. If any employee notices a change in another employee's demeanor, it may be time to speak up or check on said employee. If you're concerned about someone considering suicide, ask them directly and talk with them openly about it. Research supports that you will not cause them to attempt because of the conversation. Instead, you will connect with them, and that is a strong preventative factor. Another factor in handling crisis is responding when an employee shares a personal struggle. In HR management, it is not the responsibility of managers to be counselors or therapists. However, it is their responsibility to help employees get the resources that they need. If an employee shares something of a crisis, the first step should be to evaluate whether the employee is suicidal or simply struggling. This determination will direct the manager to seek professional intervention or to refer the employee to counseling or a support group. So what to do if someone is suicidal? Do not leave the person alone. Having someone by their side will give them hope. If an employee may be considering suicide, dial 988. The FCC designated 988 as the National Mental Health Crisis and Suicide Prevention Line. This line is available 24/7 with trained operators available to help in such situations. Dial 988 and stay with the distressed individual. The best practice for suicide is a warm handoff, which means getting the right people to support them, not just providing them with a number. And if all else fails, call 911 and explain the situation. Emergency responders are trained to handle these situations. It is better to save a life rather than stand back and experience a tragedy. It is HR's responsibility to help employees get the resources that they need. Handling employee conversations is part of that. The American with Disabilities Act strictly expresses that a company cannot discriminate based on health. This means that you cannot force an employee to discuss their mental health with you. It also states that employers must provide reasonable accommodations to employees with disabilities, which include mental illnesses. Remember that these conversations are confidential. You are the trusted person with information. This cannot be shared with anyone without this person's permission. We can, however, refer employees to employer-sponsored EAPs, or Employee Assistance Plans. EAPs are a valuable tool that can do more than most employees ever realize. Traditionally, they are underused and misunderstood. As HR professionals, it is important to teach employees what the company offers for their entire family. Employers have a vested interest in the ability of employees to work at or close to their full potential. EAPs are valuable resources that can help employees cope with issues affecting their ability to reach that potential. Companies sponsor a variety of EAPs, which offer assistance in family problems, depression, substance abuse, work-related stress, financial issues, and childcare needs. The EAP is a toolkit in HR's back pocket that can be used in mental health crisis. Just as physical health is important to maintain for prevention, regular counseling or therapy check-ins can prove to be irreplaceable. Intervention can take place while an employee is struggling, which could prevent a crisis from ever occurring. Promoting overall health is beneficial to the company long-term. Preventing mental health issues is a culture shift towards a physically healthier lifestyle. Developing a mentally healthy workplace starts with changing the company culture. Creating a mental health-friendly workplace may ensure that these problems never occur, or at the very least, they can be addressed quickly and painlessly. In order to develop a supportive culture in the workplace, managers can follow 4 easy steps to begin. Build awareness and a supportive culture. Provide accommodations to employees. Offer employee assistance. And ensure access to treatment. The biggest obstacle in creating a workplace that values mental health is facing the stigma. Traditionally, mental health in the workplace is taboo. Personal issues were left at the door in order to maintain a professional demeanor. Those times are past, as employees and employers are realizing the role of mental health in their efficiency. Investing in workplace mental health and wellness increases retention, recruitment, and productivity, lowers absenteeism, disability leave, and medical costs, and reduces employee-related risks and liabilities. Employers have a responsibility to support mental health, and the benefits to the company certainly outweigh the costs. The primary task in addressing the stigma is to have conversations. Managers should be trained on how to have conversations with employees and how to effectively communicate available resources. Assets such as EAPs or accommodations will not be used if employees are not aware that they exist. If all employees are aware of support, they will feel safe and supported and will be much more likely to accept help instead of hiding in fear. When it comes to managing mental health in the workplace, training is essential. Proven strategies for building a mentally healthy workplace include educating workers, training supervisors and managers on ways to support employee mental health, the legal obligation to accommodate disabilities, and how to prohibit discrimination and retaliation is essential. A properly trained leadership can greatly enhance the overall well-being of the workforce. Other strategies to develop a supportive workplace are to offer flexible scheduling, modify work areas to improve organization, add natural light, or better environments to workspaces. You can alter job duties to support better mental health as well as better performance. Employee assistance can go a long way in improving the quality of life and the quality of work. So what can HR leaders do? As a part of a human resource team, leaders can plan and execute mental health workshops. This might look like yoga classes before shifts begin, journaling sessions over lunch, or mindfulness exercises during breaks. HR can teach the company EAP through orientation and inform employees of its uses via company emails or flyers. It is extremely important that relationships are encouraged and nurtured. Grab coffee with a coworker or encourage carpooling for even more benefits. Schedule quarterly picnics to encourage team building or have organized walks in conjunction with a local 5K. Training for anyone in leadership should be mandatory. All leaders of a company, including managers and human resources, should be equipped with the ability to recognize issues and address them. Employees should have access to resources in order to help a coworker get help. Optional mental health first aid training should be offered for all employees once a year or even more frequently. Access to resources and encouragement to use said resources can potentially save an employee from crisis. This affects retention and the company's bottom dollar, all while improving another human's well-being. Human resource management has not involved mental health for very long, but the pandemic seemed to catalyze this much-needed improvement. To summarize, a mentally healthy workforce that knows where and how to access these programs that will allow the business to increase their bottom line as well as retain desired employees. This benefits both the employer and the employee and has the potential to save lives. If you or someone you know needs help, please reach out to myself or one of these great resources. Thank you.